My name is Karen, and this is my hope story. I grew up in church. I'm a church kid. My dad's a preacher, so I've spent most of my life, or all of my life really, in church. I knew what the Bible said. I remember the first time I ever felt like God was speaking to me, I was 8 years old. As a teenager and as an adult, like a young adult, I still followed, but I wasn't sure if that's really what I wanted to believe. Wasn't sure if that was the lifestyle I wanted to lead. So in my early 20s, I fell away. And I still went to church, but I just went. I was just a body there. When I was about 25, I woke up one day and was like, this is not who I am. I can't be this person anymore. And I rededicated my life to Christ. So then I met Joe, my husband, very shortly after that. And very shortly after that, we got married. And very shortly after that, we had 3 kids. I really battled with postpartum after all of them. And that really caused a lot of issues. Just obviously, like mental, physical, spiritual. It caused issues in our marriage. And I found myself in a place where I believed, but I wasn't really sure that God could fix that, or that God could use that, or that it was for a purpose. About 3 years ago, we reached a place where Joe and I were basically just roommates, and it kind of all came to a head, and I was like, oh, this is over. I remember we took family pictures, and in my head the whole time I was thinking, this is going to be a great memory for our kids to have, like the last time we were together as a family. Right around that time, Andrea invited me to come to a small group, and the church was doing the Happiness Myth. That was the series that Jason was preaching on, and it just changed everything. Like, it changed our life. Like, that series for me was like, and that was a time where I was really easy to blame Joe for the problems that we were having. You know, it's always easier to blame somebody else, and I was like, I'm not doing anything wrong. And it was just like that pride, like, sin will take you further than you want to go, cost you more than you want to pay. And like it was my pride. Like, and I really got a lot out of that. Like, I really felt like God was saying, like, you're prideful. Like, you are not looking at your own issues. Like, you've allowed the sin of pride to come into your life and like take over, basically, and justify your actions, justify your words. And that was huge for me. You know, I had to figure out who God was for me. But I also had to get to the point in that crisis in our marriage and in our life. Like, do I really believe that you can come in, God, and change this? Do I really believe that you can take something that is broken and it looks like it's done and it looks like it's finished and make something, like, change it completely? I never imagined what, as an adult, really following God was like. We always went to church, but we just like checked the box, like check, you know, because there's a difference between going to church and then there's and living for God. Like, there's a difference. It's not the same. And through these last 2 years, like, we've learned, like, this is what living for Jesus is like. This is what having a relationship with God is. And it doesn't make things perfect, but it makes things better. Just because it looks like it's over doesn't mean that it's over. Just because it looks broken does not mean that it cannot be put back together